Why, hi there, I'm Ron Chuckett, and Box Score Communications presents Series of the Week. Today, from the friendly confines of Wrigley Field in Chicago, it's the defending National League Eastern Division champion Chicago Cubs against the Montreal Expos. It's a nice day. Actually, it's a very nice day for mid-April, the 12th of April, 1985, 55 degrees, no wind at Wrigley today, and the skies are crystal clear for this matchup between Dennis Eckersley of the Cubs and Bryn Smith of the Montreal Expos. The Expos, they're going to be about a 500 team. It's about what they were for the era. And the Cubs, well, of course, they had high hopes going into 1985. They came within a whisker of going to their first World Series since 1945 before losing to the San Diego Padres in 5 tough games in the 1984 National League Championship Series. So the Cubs are looking to get back. They'd have injury problems later on, including Rick Sutcliffe, who got them to the playoffs to begin with. But we don't know this at this point. So that's the setup for you. Before we get to the lineups, we want to say that we're using Action PC Baseball 2014, that we're going as played lineups. So this is the lineups that Jimmy Fry had for the Cubs and Montreal had on that particular day. The announcer will manage the Cubs and will manage every home team except for the Red Sox. Regardless of where the Red Sox play, we will do them. So pull up a chair, as Uncle Vinny would say, and get ready for Major League Baseball. All right, let's tell you about the Montreal Expos and how they will line up for you. Tim Raines will lead off and play left. Herm Whittingham, who came over from the Mets in the Gary Carter trade in December, will bat second and play center field. Andre Dawson is your right fielder. He'll bat third. Dan Dreesen, the former Cincinnati Red, is your first baseman. He'll clean up. Hubie Brooks, the other big part of the trade that sent Carter to New York, will bat fifth and play short. Vance Law is your second baseman. He'll bat sixth. Timmy Wallach is your third baseman. He'll bat seventh. Mike Fitzgerald behind the plate. What an unenviable position for him to replace Gary Carter. And as we said, Bryn Smith on the mound. And he will bat ninth. Dennis Eckersley will pitch for the Cubs. And here's the defense around him. The Sarge, Gary Matthews at left. Not great range, an average arm. Bob Dernier is your center fielder. Good range, not a great arm. Keith Moreland is your right fielder. Terrible range, a 2 out of 10, but a cannon for an arm of 8. Around the infield, it's Ron Say, he's average. Sean Dunston, just a touch above average. Ryan Sandberg, wow. Not gold glove numbers there. Average range at second. And Leon Durham, who made the big play that allowed San Diego to come back in the NLCS, is at first. He's a little bit above average. Jody Davis will catch. Good arm. Above average field, just slightly above average fielder. And the pitcher is Dennis Eckersley. This is his first start of the regular season. It's only the third game for the Cubs. In 85, he went 11-7. 169 innings, 145 hits. He struck out 19. So control will be something that Eckersley has in spades. And struck out 117. His earned run average was 308. Timmy Raines will start this one off. On the year, Timmy is 3 for 9, 333, with an RBI and a stolen base. And we're underway as Raines singles to right center. So that's how this game starts, a single by Montreal, and Raines, of course, has lethal speed, both in scoring and on stealing bases. Herm Whittingham comes up. Herm is 0 for 6. He struck out 4 times so far in Cyber 85. Didn't do much better hitting-wise. Only hit .237 in real life. They're looking for the bunt. Surprised, because Whittingham is only a 1. So throw to first and Raines is back. And now they pitch out. There goes Raines. And they got him. Really not much of a chance, but you got to try it. So that's 2 stolen bases on the year for Tim. And so the Expos have a runner on second with nobody out. And a 1-0 count to Herm Whittingham. Whittingham pops one up to Sandberg on the grass at second, 1 out. They'll bring up the Hawk, Andre Dawson. Dawson 1 for 7 on the year, a home run and an RBI and a strikeout. Hit .255 in the real season. Eckersley delivers a fly ball to left. Matthews is there. Raines will hold, 2 out. For Dan Dreesen, Dreesen at .333, 2 for 6, with a double and a home run. That's nice to have 2 extra base hits, and the home run being his only RBI. Dreesen flies out to Moreland in right. So that's the inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. We've played 1/2 inning, no score. So as Bryn Smith takes his warm-up pitches, let's tell you how the Chicago Cubs will line up today. Bob Dernier at your center fielder, and he'll lead off. Ryan Sandberg bats second. The Sarge Gary Matthews bats third. Leon Durham cleans up and bats fourth. Keith Moreland will bat fifth. The Penguin Ron Say bats sixth. Jody Davis bats seventh. Sean Dunston, the shortstop, bats eighth. And Dennis Eckersley will bat ninth. Eckersley good for 115 pitches. Here or there. He threw 14 in the first. Defensively for the Expos, Tim Raines is in left. Average range and a great arm, 9 out of 10. Herm Whittingham is in center. Above average range and an average arm. Andre Dawson in right. Above average in both categories. The infield, Tim Wallach, a tremendously good defensive third baseman. Hubie Brooks, a little bit below average at short. Vance Law at second, he's pretty good, pretty average. And Dan Dreesen at first, just a scotch above average. And Mike Fitzgerald behind the plate. Mike above average range and an average arm. Smith, 18-5 on the regular season in the real 85. 2.91 the ERA, 222 innings, 193 hits, 41 walks, and 127 strikeouts. Pitch to contact pitcher that will keep the ball in the park. And with these conditions, it really is pretty neutral. Let's give you the dimensions for Wrigley. They really have never changed. 355 to left, 368 to the alley and left center, 402 to dead center, 368 to the alley and right, and 353 down the line and right. So Bob Dernier, the batter. Wallach and Dreesen are playing in at the corners in case Dernier bunts. Dernier is 0 for 5 but walked twice this year. We will not oblige. It's a pop-up, high pop-up, lot of the grass, 1 out. Ryan Sandberg. Kind of funny that he's wearing a Phillies hat in that picture. If you remember correctly, he came up with the Phillies, but spent his salad years with the Cubs. And now he actually is manager of the Phillies. 0 for 7 for Rhino. No home runs and no RBIs. He's walked and struck out once and scored once. Sandberg flies one to left center. Whittingham's there, 2 out. The Expos have not won this year. The Cubs have not lost this year. This is a 3-game weekend series. This is the Friday afternoon game. Day game tomorrow and day game on Sunday. Gary Matthews off to a flying start, 3 for 6, 500, no homers and an RBI. Smith loses him on a walk. So that'll bring in Leon Durham. Durham is 1 for 8. Translates out to 125 with a homer and no RBIs. And he pops one up the third base side. Wallach is there, and that's the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, 1 left. After 1, no score. So Hubie Brooks will lead off the second. Hubie 1 for 8. But that 1 hit was a triple, and he scored. Eckersley delivers a pop-up to deep center. Dernier is there and makes the play. One of those things announcer where you gotta follow the ball and not Sandberg who was moving. That was a pop-up to second. Vance Law, the batter. 3 for 6 with an RBI on the year. Eckersley delivers a fly ball to the left. Back goes Matthews, and it's gone. So Law homers, his first of the year, and the Expos get on the board first, 1-0. A 384-foot home run, and as expected, it gets tossed back out on the field. That's his first. He has 2 RBIs now. Here is Timmy Wallach. Tim 1 for 7, but that one hit was a home run. He has 2 RBIs. Expos lead it 1-0. Tim pops this one up by the bag at second. Sandberg goes over. 2 out for Mike Fitzgerald, who was off to a good start. 3 for 7 on the year. That's .429. No homers and no RBIs. Hit .207 on the regular year. And he flies one to left. Matthews is there, and that's the inning. 1 run, 1 hit, no errors. We've played 1.5 at Wrigley. It's the Expos 1, the Cubs nothing. Keith Moreland starts us off. Moreland, Say, and Davis for the Cubs, and if anyone should reach, the shortstop, Son Dunston for that. Moreland at 125, 1 for 8. Smith delivers, and there's a fly ball to left on the line. Raines turns and watches it go. A home run for Moreland, and we are tied at 1. Moreland, I don't believe, well, he's batting 5th. Had too much power, and Smith only gave up 12 home runs in 222 innings. But that's why you play the game, and we're tied at 1. 367 down the line and left. Now that's how far the home run went. Here's Ron Say. Ron is 3 for 7 with a homer and 3 RBIs. He grounds one to Wallach. Throw to first in time. 1 out. Jody Davis, reliable catcher for the Cubs, 167 on the young season. But that one hit was a 2-run, or was a home run. He's driven in 2, and he struck out twice. And he looks at strike 3 on an 0-2 count. Breaking ball from Bryn at 77 miles an hour. 2 out for Dunston, who is 2 for 5. No homers and no RBIs. 1-1 the score. Solo shots from Vance Law and Keith Moreland are both the runs in the game. The pitch. Fly ball to center. There's Whittingham. He makes the play. 1 run, 1 hit, no errors. We've played 2. Montreal 1, Chicago 1. And then I'll bring up Bryn Smith, who in 85 hit 194, a homer, and 4 RBIs. And if you're wondering about pitch counts through 2, Smith is at 33, Eckersley is at 30. Smith could go probably about 110. The pitch. Check swing, strike 3. So that's the first for Eckersley. Then I'll bring up Raines. And I think the Cubs are going to play in at the corners. Here comes Say and Durham, because Raines certainly can bunt. He singled his first time up. The pitch. Popped up. Matthews is there. 1 out. Or 2 out. Pardon me. Herm Whittingham, the center fielder, is 0 for 1. He flies a single into short right. Moreland picks it up on a hop, and the Expos have their 3rd hit with the always dangerous Andre Dawson at the plate in the real 85, 255, 23 homers, and 91 RBI. Whittingham goes, and they throw him out. So Dawson will be at the plate when the 4th starts, and that's how the inning ends. No runs, a hit, nobody left, or no errors, and nobody left. 2.5 in the books. 1-1. I guess you take that risk. Whittingham's chances of stealing second were 58%. I think you'd rather have the Dawson on with a hitting with a runner on. Eckersley in the regular season, or the real 85, hit 125. 7 out of 56, but he did have a homer and a solo shot. Smith, through 2 innings, has given up a home run, a hit, walked 1, and struck out 1. Eckersley singles into right center. So the Cubs get their 2nd hit. 1 run, 3 hits, no errors for the Expos. They've shredded 1. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, and the Cubs have shredded 1. Eckersley is not a threat to run. Pitch to near is a fly ball on the line and left. Foul. So the count now is 2-2 to Bob Dernier. Smith delivers a ground ball to first, and Dreesen can't come up with it. He tried to pick it up and throw it before he actually had a handle on it. Smith was going to go cover the bag, and Dreesen rushed it because of Dernier's speed. And so now the Cubs have runners on first and second with nobody out for Ryan Sandberg. It was 0 for 1. Sandberg flies one to center. Winningham is there. 1 out. Gary Matthews is up, and he walked his first time at the plate. He flies one to left center. Winningham runs over, makes the grab, 2 out. Leon Durham now, he's 0 for 1. And he swings and misses strike 3. So that's the inning. No runs, 1 hit. Dan Driesen's error does not hurt. We've played 3, 1-1. So Andre Dawson starts us off in the 4th, followed by Dan Driesen and Huey Brooks. Dawson was at the plate when Herm Winningham was thrown out trying to steal second. And he flies one to center. Dernier makes the grab, 1 out. Dan Driesen now, 0 for 1. He grounds one to say, throw to first in time. 2 out for Huey Brooks, who's 0 for 1. Brooks grounds one to Sandberg, throws to first in time. So it's a perfect 4th for Eckersley and the Cubs. We played 3.5. The Expos won. The Cubs won. Keith Moreland will start us off here in the bottom of the 4th. Moreland homered. And that was the tying run. The Expos have a home run from Vince Law, and Moreland tied it up in the 2nd. Smith delivers another fly ball to left. Back goes Raines, and he has it on the track in the corner. That was hammered. So 1 out. Bryn Smith, if you're wondering, his pitch count is up to 58. Eckersley is at 47. They both pitched pretty well. Ron Say up, and he was retired his first time. The pitch. Here is a fly ball to center. Winningham is there. 2 out. Jody Davis struck out his first time up. Made a big play defensively, throwing out Herm Winningham, trying to steal in the 3rd. And he looks at ball 4 on a full count. So that's the 2nd walk for Smith, and that brings up Sean Dunston, who's 0 for 1. There's a single to shallow center. Davis is motoring with 2 out, and he'll stop at 3rd. So runners in the corners now for Dennis Eckersley. At 7 hits, all of 85, and he has 1 today. So Smith kind of in trouble. The pitch count's up now, but he has the luxury of facing the pitcher. He delivers. Eckersley pops one up. Wallach is there, goes over by the shortstop, and makes the grab to end the inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. The Cubs strand 2 after 4, 1-1. And here's the reason why Montreal has that one. It's Vance Law. So a homer in the 1st. We appreciate the intrusion from Avast. That can come off the screen now at any point. Can't disable the antivirus. All right, Eckersley's ready. We're just going to go. Here's the pitch. There's a single to center. They throw it in. And there is, and Law is on. So nobody out for Wallach. Wallach popped out to second his first time up. 0 for 1. And he grounds one to Sandberg. Lines out to Sandberg, pardon me, for the first out. So Law holds it first, and that will bring up Mike Fitzgerald, who has retired his first time up. Fitzgerald swings and misses on an 0-2 pitch, strike 3. 2 strikeouts now for Eckersley, with 2 outs here in the 5th. Bryn Smith now presumably will bat. He does, and he swings and misses, strike 3. So Eckersley fans 2 after the single. No runs, 1 hits, no errors, 1 left on. Montreal and Chicago are tied halfway through. Bob Dernier, the batter, to start the 5th. The Cubs will go Dernier, Sandberg, and Matthews here in the 5th. The Expos are daring him to do it, so Dernier will try, and he'll bunt it foul. 0-2 now. Smith is ready. Ground ball to third. Wallach throws to first. Bang, bang play. It was low, but Dreesen drug it out of the dirt. So 1 out for Sandberg, who's 0 for 2. Rhino singles to right and is on first. 1 out. 4th hit for the Cubbies. Expos have 4. Both teams have a run. Expos have an error. Sarge, Gary Matthews is up 0 for 1 with a walk. Throw to first and Sandberg's back. Effective because Sandberg went from being able to have a 55% chance of selling to 44. Pitch to Matthews is a fly ball down the right. Dawson goes into foul territory and can't get it into the seats of Souvenir. So it's a full count. Smith has worked the count full. Full count. Here we go. Matthews swings and misses strike 3. He wanted fastball and got a curve. So Smith has struck out 3 and walked 2. And so there's 2 out for Leon Durham. Durham is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. And he grounds a single to right. Sandberg goes to third. Durham holds at first. And so for Keith Moreland, who had 14 homers in 1985, he has runners on the corners with 2 out. Here's the pitch. It's a pop-up. Dreesen's there on the grass, makes the play, and that's the inning. No run, 2 hits, no errors. After 5, it's Montreal 1, Chicago 1. So the Expos will flip the lineup. And Timmy Raines, who has singled and is 1 for 2. Eckersley at 66 pitches through 5. Smith at 100. We'll see how much longer Smith stays in the game. Raines singles to right field to start the 6th. And Eckersley has a pretty tight hold on him. Raines' chances of moving on are pretty slim. Whittingham, the batter, he has singled. 1 for 2. He flies 1 to shallow right. Moreland comes in and makes the grab. 1 out. Now Raines really has rain to steal. Dawson, the batter. Andre is 0 for 2. Throw to first, and Raines is back, and actually that gave him a better chance. Pitch out, throw in, not in time. So Raines steals the 2nd bag of the day and 3 for the year. So the ball count is 1-0. 1 out for Andre Dawson. Dawson grounds 1 to short. Dunston has to eat it. It was kind of took a funny bounce as soon as it hit the dirt, and Dunston had no choice. Better safe than sorry with that runner on third. Or moving to third. You don't want that runner to score. So the Cubs will play at double play depth for Dreesen, who was 0 for 2. And he singles through the hole at second. So Dawson moves to third. Dreesen will stay at first. Raines scores, and the Expos lead now 2-1 for Hubie Brooks, who was 0 for 2. Once again, the Cubs would love to get out of the inning. And he walks. So Eckersley has scuffled here in the 6th. Now has allowed 7 hits on the day. Walked 1 and struck out 3. Hubie was his first walk. So a force at every base. They'll leave him back for Vance Law, who homered and singled. He's 2 for 2. Law swings and misses on strike 3. Eckersley gets the fastball, and there's 2 out. Huge strikeout. The 4th on the day for Eckersley. Tim Wallach is 0 for 2. Bases are loaded. That's Dawson at third. Dreesen you see hiding behind Eckersley, and Hubie Brooks at first. Wallach to center. Dernier is there, makes the play, and that's the side. 1 run, 3 hits, no errors. The Expos leave them loaded after 5.5. Montreal 2, Chicago 1. Ron Say leads off the bottom of the 6th. Bryn Smith probably in his last inning. I believe he would bat in the 7th anyway. If it stays like this, he's in line for the win. Say grounds one foul, and the count is 1-2. 7 pitches in this bat already. The 1-2. There's a fly ball, base hit into left field. And that will be all for Smith. We'll give you the line before Tim Burke comes in, or as Tim Burke comes in. Smith, 5 innings plus, 5 hits. He gave up the solo shot to Moreland in the second. That's his lone run. Of course, it was earned. He walked 2 and struck out 3 and is responsible for Moreland on first. The book isn't quite closed. He is in line to win it. He cannot lose it. Burke has thrown 2 innings so far in 85, or Cyber 85. An ERA of 9, no record, 4 hits. He has walked 1 and struck out 2. On the regular year, he went 9-4, 8 saves, and an ERA of 2.39. Jody Davis, who has walked and struck out, the batter. And he pops one to his counterpart. Fitzgerald loses the mask, 1 out. Sean Dunston with Eckersley to follow. Dunston 1 for 2 with a single. And he swings and misses strike 3 on a 2-2 pitch. So now the Cubs have an interesting conundrum. I guess we got a pinch hit for Eckersley here. That's the play as the Expos trail. And Eckersley's pitch count is at 95. Not that you really worried about it, but he really labored in the 6th and now trails 2-1. Who do they have with a righty up on the mound? The pinch hitter record would be Davey Lopes. So we'll go with that. I'm going to tell you how much times have changed over the years. Davey Lopes is listed as a left fielder for the Cubs. If you remember, he was a second baseman for the Dodgers, and a very good one. Lopes, as a pinch hitter in Cyber 85, is 0 for 1. Still a productive hitter in real life, 284, 11 homers, and 44 RBI. Say is on. Current and ex-Dodger teammate Say is on first. 2 out. Tim Burke on the hill. The pitch. Lopes grounds a single to right. So that worked. Say stops at second. Lopes on first. 2 out for Bob Dernier, who is 0 for 3. The pitch. There's a ground ball to second. Law throws to first in time, and that's the inning. No runs, 2 hits, no errors. After 6, Montreal 2, Chicago 1. We'll leave Matthews in at left. Lopes is not really that a better option. And pitching for the Cubs, they have no right-handers. Ooh. Boy, now you understand why they were in such rough shape. We're going to go with Warren Brewster, who was not pitched in 85. Brewster came over from the Phillies, I believe, in 83. In the regular 85, went 4-3 with 4 saves, but look at that ERA, 6.05. 74 innings, 87 hits. He walked 36 and struck out 34. And is susceptible to the long ball. 8 is the number. So Fitzgerald, the catcher, is 0 for 2 with the strikeout. Top of the 7th, 2-1 Montreal. Fitzgerald watches strike 3, a fastball on a 1-2 count. 1 out, but a 9 pitch at bat. Brewster, figure he's good for 40. That should be maybe 2, 3 if he's efficient. Tim Burke, the batter. Be surprised if the Expos pulled him. Not a good hitter. Let's see what happens. They're going to pinch hit. Terry Francona. There's a name you know and love. Will pinch hit. Terry is 0 for 2 in pinch hitting duty so far. On the real season, 267, 2 homers, and 31 RBI. Brewster gets him to swing and miss at a pitch at the knees. A full count, and there are 2 out. For Tim Raines, who is 2 for 3, scored, stole 2 bases so far, 3 on the year. You see in the upper left there, those are the current stats for the simulation. Remember, we're not simulating every game via video. But if you want to know how they stack up, that's what you would see if you were at the ballpark. Raines singles to right. So he reaches again, puts up his average to 462. The pickoff throw is not in time, and they'll let Raines do what he wants. They're going to give up the ball. Herb Whittingham, the batter, he is singled. He's 1 for 3. He goes to throw down. Safe. So 3 stolen bases for Raines. And an 0-1 count to Whittingham. And the ball gets away from Davis. It's a wild pitch. The count is 1-1. Raines is on third, 2 out. And he looks at strike 3 on the breaking ball. So that's the inning. No runs, 1 hit. Raines is left to third. Stretch time in Chicago. You can hear Harry warming up in the background. Montreal 2, Chicago 1. Well, as everyone roots for the Cubbies, in the 7th, it'll be Sandberg, Matthews, and Durham to face Bert Roberge. 9 ERA in limited duty so far, 2 innings pitched, 2 hits, and he struck out 1. On the Riedel season, he went 3-3 with 2 saves and an earned run average of 344. Rhino is 1 for 3. That hit was a single, and that was his first hit of 85. Sandberg looks at strike 3. 1 out. Gary Matthews now 0 for 2, including a strikeout and a walk. Expos 2, Cubs 1. The pitch, ground ball to third. Wallach throws to first in time, 2 out. Leon Durham 1 for 3, a single and a strikeout on the ledger. Roberge delivers, and there's a double. It got into the gap, and Whittingham was just a touch hesitant, and Durham goes to second. So the Cubs have the tying run in scoring position for Keith Moreland, who already has a home run today, 1 for 3. And they're going to walk him for Ron Say. Ron is 1 for 3 with a single. So Durham, who you see peeking behind Roberge there, is the tying run, and Moreland is the go-ahead run. Say swings, a grounder to Brooks, throw to first, and that's it. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. After 7 at Wrigley, it's Montreal 2, Chicago 1. As Brewster gets ready to go to try to get through his second inning of work, a reminder, remember, there were no lights at Wrigley Field in 1985. But because this is a computer game, let's say if this was tied, the game cannot be called for darkness. They'll play it until they finish it. I mean, this engine does differentiate between day and night, but there's no 1:05 start time or 3:05 start time. It's just day or night. So any game at Wrigley Field will be played till its conclusion. It will not ever be suspended for darkness. Andre Dawson now 1 for 3. Montreal leads 2-1. The total is 2-8-1 for Montreal. They've stranded 6. The Cubs have a run on 8 hits, no errors, and they've stranded 11. They have really given Montreal pitchers the benefit of the doubt this afternoon. Dawson flies out to the near. Make it look like I have cataracts. Dan Dreesen, the batter, 1 for 3 with an RBI. That 1 hit was a single. And speaking of which, he grounds a single to right. 1 out, 1 on for Hubie Brooks, who is 0 for 2. Hubie flies 1 to deep left. Back goes Matthews. It's gone. Dreesen scores. Hubie scores, and the Expos lead it 4-1. 1 out, and Rooster kicking the mound in disgust. The problem is the Cubs' bullpen is so shallow, there really isn't an adequate replacement. So he'll get Vance Law. Lee Smith, I didn't leave it up long enough for you to see, but he did pitch in the Cubs game on the 11th, which would be yesterday. You don't want to burn out your closer or ace relief pitcher if you don't need to. 4-1 Montreal here in the 8th. 1 out for Vance Law, who's 2 for 3, single and a homer. Make that 2 singles as he singles to right, and that will be it. So as Tim Wallach takes to the plate, we'll tell you that Warren Brewster in an inning in 3rd, 4 hits, 2 runs, both earned of the homer, and struck out 3. He's responsible for Law. And for Cubs fans, we wish we could tell you that George Frazier would be a better option, but he's really not. This is his first appearance of the 85 sim. In real life, he went 7-8 with 2 saves, which is amazing because his earned run average was .639. 76 innings, 88 hits, 11 home runs. He walked 52 and struck out 46. Wallach will bat with 1 out. Mike Fitzgerald to follow, and probably a pinch hitter for Roberge, although pitch count-wise, Roberge has pitched 27 of the 50 he's probably good for. The pitch, ground ball. Sandberg throws to Dunston. They do not throw to first, so it's a fielder's choice, 4-6. No throw. Wallach has good speed. Doesn't necessarily mean stolen bases, but he can motor down the line. Mike Fitzgerald, the catcher, struck out twice, is 0 for 3. Frazier gets him the swing and miss at strike 3. So we've played 7.5, 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors. Montreal 4, Chicago 1. Jody Davis, Sean Dunston, and now the Cubs are in a conundrum. They probably would have to go with Larry Sorensen on short rest because you're not going to bat Frazier here, are you? We'll see. Here's Davis. He's 0 for 2. He's walked and struck out. And he grounds 1 foul. Count is 0-2. There's a fly ball to left. Back goes Raines. It's gone! A solo shot down the line and left, 363 feet into that short little batch of bleachers, and it's 4-2. Sean Dunston, 1 for 3. A single and a strikeout. Dunston grounds 1 to 3rd. Wallach throws to first in time. Frazier was 0 for 6. But now you have a shout. Wow, what do we do here? The weather, by the way, as we get later in the afternoon, 57 degrees still. Chamber of Commerce, crystal clear skies, and no wind. There have been 3 home runs here. We look at the punch and see that Thad Bosley is probably the best option. You got to pinch hit here. So Bosley is 0 for 1 on the season with a strikeout. In limited duty in real 85 baseball, hit 328, 7 homers, and 27 RBI. Nobody on, 1 out, 4-2. Home run by Jody Davis makes this a 2-run game. Bosley flies 1 to deep right. Back goes Dawson to the track. 2 out. Bob Dernier, 0 for 4. And 0 for 9 now on the year. He swings. It's a ground ball to Dreesen. This time he gets it to Roberge to end the inning. 1 run, 1 hit, no errors. We played 8. Montreal 4, Chicago 2. As much as the Cubs don't want to, they're going to go with Larry Sorensen for a 3rd straight day. In 2 innings pitched, he's allowed 3 hits. He has no record with an ERA of 3.38. 3-7 was his record. Bert Roberge, I won't set it up just in case he doesn't bat. He won't. Miguel Delaunay will be the hitter, 0 for 2 on the season. A real-life 190 hitter. He swings and singles to right. So that's the 12th hit for Montreal. The Cubs have 9. And I'll bring in Tim Raines, who's had a whale of a day. He has 3 for 4 with 3 singles, a run scored, and 3 stolen bases. The pitch. Here's a single to right center. So runners on first and second with nobody out. And Bryn Smith now is stirring in the pen because he's pretty much it. He's the last one the Cubs have, unless we get into starters. Herm Winningham is 1 for 4. A single was the hit, and he's also struck out. And boy, would the Cubs love a double play right here. Ground ball to third. Say throws over to first. 1 out for Andre Dawson. And you have to throw him 4 wide ones. So the Cubs will set up for a double play. Dan Dreesen, the batter. He is 2 for 4. He has singled twice. He has scored and driven in a run. Sorensen is ready. The pitch. And there's a single to left. Delaunay scores. Here comes Raines, and he is safe, and it's 6-2. So the Expos have broken this one open for all intents and purposes. Intents and purposes. Let's use proper English. And Hubie Brooks, the batter. Hubie, 1 for 3. A big 2-run homer in the 8th. Gave the Expos a 4-1 lead at the time. He grounds one to third. Say throws across. Not in time. Brooks beats it out. So the Cubs will take a look, and they're going to go with Dick Ruthven because Ruthven is not scheduled to start for another 10 days. Or we can go with Fontenot. We're going to go with Ray Fontenot instead, excuse me. He's not scheduled to start until May. The thought behind the process is Fontenot, I'll tell you his record, 6-10 in real, 85 with a 4.36 ERA, 154 innings, 177 hits. Oh, long ball city, 23. He walked 45 and struck out 70. If you went with Lee Smith today, he would be considered on very short rest tomorrow, and you just never know if you're going to need him. You know, the Cubs have got to figure this game is over. Vance Law, the batter, 3 for 4 with a home run. He homered in the second to put the Expos up 1-0. A single twice and struck out. And he flies one to deep left center. Back goes Dernier. It's off the wall. Dreesen scores. Brooks will score. 5 runs across. 9-2 Montreal. And the fans are starting to leave. Timmy Wallach, 0 for 4. Will get pinch hit for. The Expos will bring in UL Washington, who we don't have a picture of. 0 for 1 on the season. 249 he hit in 85 with a homer and 17 RBI. UL Washington, you would never forget him if you saw him. He always played with a toothpick in his mouth. And for those of us who are old enough to remember Game of the Week back in the 70s, Joe Garagiola would admonish us kids for, he can do that because he's an adult, but you can't do that, which he shouldn't have done it either. So Law on second, 9-2. Montreal leads 1 out here in the 9th. Here's a ground ball to third. Say throws to first in time, 2 out. Mike Fitzgerald, who has struck out 3 times, the batter. He is 0 for 4. Grounds one to Say, throw to first in time. But not before the Expos score 5 times. 5 runs, 5 hits, no errors. We go to the bottom of the 9th. It's Montreal 9. Chicago 2. Ryan Sandberg will lead it off for us. Sandberg 1 for 4 with a single. It's also struck out. Sandberg, Matthews, and Durham. No reason to change that. Schatzeder, a lefty. His first appearance in 85. 3-5. His real numbers, 3.80 ERA, 104 innings, 101 hits. Sandberg pops it up. Brooks is there, 1 out. Gary Matthews, 0 for 3 with a strikeout on the ledger and a walk. Matthews singles to right. 10 hits for the Cubs. They've stranded 11. Now, this should be a closer game, but they just run themselves out of inning after inning. Leon Durham, 2 for 4, single and a double and a strikeout. Browns 1 to second. Log with Brooks for 1 to Dreesen, and the game is over on a double play. Montreal wins 9-2. We won't belabor this one for you too long. The Cubs moved to 2-1. Montreal moves to 1-2. That was their first win. Montreal running the second on the home run by Law. A run in the sixth, 2 in the eighth on the homer by Hubie Brooks, and 5 in the ninth. Vance Law had, 4 for 5. He's your Studebaker MVP with 4 RBIs. 9 runs, 16 hits, and error. The Cubs 1 run, or 2 runs, 10 hits, no errors. A run in the second on the solo shot by Moreland, and a solo shot by Jody Davis in the eighth. Bryn Smith is your winner. 5 innings, 6 hits. A run it was earned. The home run, walked 2 and struck out 3. Burke and Roberge gets hold because it was a safe situation. Dan Schatzner in to mop it up. Eckersley, followed by a whole parade of relievers. Brewster, who got shelled. An inning a third, 4 hits, 2 runs, both earned. A homer and struck out 3. Frazier finished the inning. Sorensen started in the ninth, and oh boy, in 1/3 of an inning, he allowed 4 hits, 5 runs, all earned, and a walk. Fontenot just went in to clean it up. Time of the game, 4 hours and 4 minutes. You got to take about a half hour off because the game runs a little fast. So 3.5 hours. So that's it on this Friday. Montreal wins the first game of the series 9-2.